Hello.
How are
Hello.
you? How are you? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
That's good.
Yes.
The
Um,
recording has stopped.
this is going to be amazing for all of you today. I was hoping everybody would come because it's so good.
Oh,
Wow.
And
great.
um, I also want to challenge both of you to do that YouTube research that we talked about a couple weeks ago. Finding a couple of YouTube channels who do something similar to you, or that the bottom of their funnel is the same as yours. And I'll give you this example. The five channels that I analyzed to craft my plan, large channels getting paid, but also the bottom of the funnel was group coaching programs and one-on-one coaching programs. And what I found so surprised me. So, really want to encourage you to do that research for yourselves. Big difference. Big difference in my plan for the future as well. Um, have you heard of David Bear, mindset coach?
Hmm.
Well, his YouTube channel is all about spirituality, manifestation, abundance, and mindset. Well, I was surprised to learn that that's not what his coaching programs are. They're business coaching programs. So, um, really surprising to learn that he was doing his YouTube channel based on like, psychographics of who he wants to attract rather than, his job title. So that was good. Troy, hello, hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello. Good morning.
How are you?
I am wonderful. I
All right, they're
Wow.
had a
just
call a little
making.
bit ago with John Daniels, so
Oh,
we're doing
great.
well.
All squared away?
Yeah, everything is we're in the process of getting everything transferred. So
Okay. Well, today we are going to talk about something I call your walk-up webinar. This term, I don't even know who originally used that term, but think of it as a video that is either on your YouTube channel, or maybe you'll link to it on your LinkedIn. Maybe it's that first video on your YouTube channel. Maybe it's a video on your website. And what it is basically a trust building video. It's a video that explains your thoughts, your philosophy, why you do what you do. And we're going to get really into that today. And so this all came from me doing this for my YouTube channel rather than have that first video be about my offers and my podcast. I'm making it about me and why I think like I do, kind of like that personal manifesto we've talked about before. And what's really exciting about this, well, at least from my perspective, is when I was putting all of this how to do this video into Claude, I said, I want to follow this webinar framework from Dan Henry. I want to follow this YouTube video structure from two different people. Like, so it's a combination of structures, and you can modify it based on what you do. And so created a Claude skill called Walk Up Webinar that's going to walk you through this process. The most important part here is kind of figuring out what your ideal client needs to hear from you in order to say, oh, how do I work with you? So, not the sales pitch, like I'm not overcoming objections or anything like that. We want to share a message that's raw and real and straight to the point that leaves the watcher. if they are your ideal person, feeling like you either just slap them, punch them, kicked them in the gut, like gave them some sort of awareness. And there was a YouTube channel that was in my research that I watched one of his. I cried. Yes, that's what you want. He spoke directly to me why it's hard for me to ask for help from others. If that's hard for you, I'm going to grab the link to that video because it was so powerful of an emotion within me. He saw my childhood, he saw my patterns, all in a YouTube video. Okay, I'm not going deep enough with my stuff here. If if a video can give an emotional reaction, and I know all of you can do this, to your ideal client, that person is going to go subscribe. They're going to go book a call. They're going to say, how do I work with this person? Where is the website? Where can I schedule? And that's what we want, right? So that's what we're going into today. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Denise. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Susan. Great to see you. So first, what we're going to do is jump in to my little screen share here, and we're going to walk through what is a walk-up webinar. There is an SOP for creating one yourself, so don't worry, I will share that, and that's where you're going to customize the SOP and the walk-up webinar skill to be just for you. But let's get the basics down quick. So walk-up webinar is a 45-minute-ish presentation, definitely longer than 30, definitely longer than 30, that sells your offer to whoever you share it with from a very authentic place. So this could be YouTube channel, could be on your website. You could share it via email. You could even share this before somebody gets on your calendar, or say they schedule a call on your calendar, get to know you call, or a discovery call, and you send them this first. Hey, before you meet with me, here's how I think. Well, I know after reading my walk-up webinar script out loud to myself, listening to it back, it is such a personal manifesto that I know sharing that with people before they meet me is going to increase that know, like, and trust within the first 5 minutes of the call if they take the time to watch it. It's also something you can share with referral partners so they know you even better. Think about the people that you refer business to. Do you know them? Yes, you do. Do they know you? If they don't, this can take that to the next level. And I've shared very publicly with all of you and on my Substack that a couple of my referral partners didn't even know what I did, didn't know what I charge people to work with me to do. And that's where a lot of this work has come from. So, what we're going to do is we're going to basically teach for 30 to 40 minutes, and you might pitch yourself for about 5, but that pitch is not your typical sales pitch. Your audience is not even going to feel the transition into, the call to action, if you will. So this isn't about fixing your pitch and making it better. The problem is that before the pitch, you weren't building up enough trust and understanding for someone to actually receive the pitch and not tune out. So, a normal webinar is all about selling. We've been to them 100 times, 40 minutes of the person talking about themselves and their great results or their rockstar clients or whatever. This is totally different. This is a 45-minute case study or personal vision that solves one problem for your ideal client. You could have multiple of these videos, like many of the people I researched had multiple of these videos. So if they had 12 problems that they solved for ideal clients, they might have 12 of these videos. And we all know, even if you give somebody everything to solve their problem, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do it. So this is not your traditional, you know, presentation with a pitch to sell something. It's not that. This is more. And this is basically,
This meeting is being recorded.
if you find yourself in this position and you want help, here's the link to do that, to either get more or schedule a time with you. 90% of this is belief in yourself and your offer. We have to be passionate about what we do in order to have this work. You have to be excited about what you do. You have to be able to talk about what you do without reading, without looking over here, like full on energy right at the camera. And then 10% of it is the invitation, not the sales pitch. Does that make sense? Like inviting people to, if you want more, if you're ready to work on this, if this video sounded like you're exactly who I work with, and I would love to invite you to a discovery call. That's not a sales pitch. That is a value driver. The first sentence is the diagnosis, never a welcome to the video. Now, let's talk about this one for a second, because I love this concept that the first sentence is either a hook or the problem that you're going to solve, not, hey, I'm STK, welcome to my video where I'm going to talk about blah, blah, blah today. No, your people have landed on that video, wherever it is, and we have to grab instantly to get them to want to watch the rest. And that's that one sentence, not your name, not your intro, not your agenda for the video, but their 3 a.m. thought that keeps them awake at night. And the video I talked about that I cried, the first sentence of that video, I'm excited to dive in today to show you why you can't ask for help from other people. And I was like, oh, I can't ask for help from other people. I'm watching this video, right? It spoke directly to my difficulty, and it just stood out so much to me. So people buy from you, at least they buy from me when this happens. They have to agree with a certain amount of things that I'm saying in order to work with me. And you might have heard me say before, getting people to say yes 3 or 4 times in your talk means that when you get to the call to action, they're going to say yes more often. And this is the same exact thing. This is things that people logically agree with, and then 10 things they feel. So I'm going to call out Bruce for a second, because he has a lot of things that people logically agree with what he does. But he's not great at tying it to a feeling. And this is going to solve that. So if you find yourself really good logistically, you know, I guess it's your right-hand side of your brain is logic and linear and this, and this. But then you leave people not feeling an emotion. That video I explained to you made me cry, got me on both sides of that. That's why it triggered emotion. It was logically identifiable with me, right? I don't ask for help from anyone. And then I'm going to tell you why you don't ask for help from anyone. And the emotion behind that leaves you feeling this way and this way. And then I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So that's what we want to do. So you want to do these things in order. And that's what this skill is going to help you do. It's going to help you take your content, what you want to talk about, maybe even your personal manifesto, and have people agreeing with things logically, but also feeling things emotionally. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of dismantle what this looks like. And if what I've been doing stopped working, this is for you. If the fixes failed, sometimes it addresses the wrong layer. I know this used to happen with me. I would talk like somebody who was already working with me for a year, and I was addressing that person, but I wasn't taking into consideration how someone felt before that year even started, if that makes sense. So, realistically, we want to go into what people have tried before you, what didn't work. That can be a really powerful emotional driver. Denise, that's perfect for you. Think about your ideal client, what books they've read, doctors they've talked to, and the things that didn't work for them. And by dismantling that, you're targeting their logic. Well, yes, she's right. I talked to my doctor, he didn't know. I read this book and it didn't help. I did this thing and it didn't work. So then the real cause is something else entirely. And that dismantle, what have they been doing that stopped working or never worked in the first place? And then the things they've tried to fix, and tell them why it addressed the wrong layer. I actually said this line in my webinar, um, and it's just getting produced, and I'm happy to share it with all of you when it's done. But I said my one line was, imagine if working with me makes all those other investments in yourself more successful. Imagine, the 50,000 you spent here, the 10,000 you spent here. What if I can tell you why those programs didn't work and what to do to go back to that content and have it actually work for you? Would that be helpful? Everybody in the audience who's watching the replay is going to be like, yeah, that would be helpful, because I tapped on an emotion of, I spent all that money before and it didn't do anything for me. So I'm anticipating either objections or doubts in their own mind. The redirect, we're going to name it. So name it means kind of like stop investing in things that you think are going to work, but really you're the problem. That's pretty bold, right? Um, the it can't be beaten with the old category solution, that helps you escape the next tactic. And then what's changed to make this matter now? Mine, of course, was AI. AI has changed things for business owners. And if you allow it into your business, it can do one of two things: overwhelm you with new tools and new things to play with, or it can give you your time back and you can spend it actually having conversations with people that lead you to more freedom, more money. Which do you prefer? Well, that was easy to insert into my webinar. And then committing. This is something that is difficult for a lot of people to talk about, that you working with me is going to require a commitment. and doing things in a certain order. That's why it works. Think about what that looks like for you to boldly say that. If you have a process that you know works better than somebody working with you and half-assing it, what does it look like for you to stand in that process and have it transfer to people like your ideal client? Again, back to the video that made me cry. It was speaking directly to me. Now, somebody who doesn't have an issue asking for help isn't even going to watch that video, right? Based on the title, based on the description, they're never going to look at that video. But because it spoke directly to me, I watched it. We have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with the repelling of the people that we don't want in order. And if you have 100 people on your email list and this video is only going to resonate with one of them, that's okay. Because that one is going to feel seen and heard and valued and want to book a call with you because of this. Now, the last thing here, this sequence of doing this for yourself, I know it seems like a lot of steps to go through, but when your content is put in the right order, what happens? It leads to more people booking a call, and trial and error here. I have done absolutely everything sequence wise, workshop wise, webinar wise, giving a talk in public, like to real people in the real world, everything. This order of putting the talk together is not changing the content of the talk. It's just doing it in the right order that has people more resonating with you. So, what does it do? The first four things, it recognizes you as the expert in the room because you're using their exact words. They also feel exposed, they feel diagnosed and seen. Then they have relief that somebody actually gets me. And lastly, they feel respected because of how you put the content together. And this is all super intentional. Then you are expanding trust, which most of you are really, really good at. So now we're going to magnify that. You're going to give an honest urgency, and then the fear of failure future. What happens if you don't? I don't want to overcome objections, but I'm happy to say if you don't do this work, you're going to keep investing over and over and over in programs, in coaching, and have it not work. How about we fix that first? Lastly, hope for a better future is key. You're going to give them personal agency. I'm the one that has to fix this. And then belonging because you're welcoming them into your world. So even if they just watch that video and they get an emotional reaction, they want to be part of your world. And notice what's missing here. There's no hype, there's no fake hooks or anything that's not real, emotional, and human led. Lastly, credentials make people listen, right? If you say you're an MD or a PhD or you have this certification or that certification, it does make people listen. You know, the fact that Troy is teaching who he used to be, that brings some authority to the space. But your failure story is what makes people believe it. So by being vulnerable and sharing that, That's exactly why somebody is going to listen to Troy over someone else because he screwed up these things before he figured out what he needed to do. So it's that you've lived in the problem of your ideal client is actually way more attractive than pretending that, you're perfect and you're going to solve their problems. Okay? Um, then there's an offer formula, but I'm going to stop there and take some questions or insights. How are you feeling about this so far?
I'm very excited. I was
Ah.
literally just in Claude before this.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in my master networks, when I had asked her to vouch for me for that Leland coaching platform, she said,
Mm-hmm.
Nikki, so many people need you, but they don't know they need you. So I was putting that
Yes.
into Claude and saying, help me
Yes.
with this. And here you are saying those exact words with a
Huh.
video, using a video to convey that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, look at the meta perspective of that. I know that that is a problem for my ideal client because it was a problem for me. That's why this lesson is here. Nikki feels what? Seen, heard, validated, excited to do the work now, right? Yeah. Eee. Love it. Bruce, go ahead.
So, a statement and a question about one person out of 100.
Uh-huh.
If another way to look at it is, if you're really trying to help people, then the 99 people who are you're filtering out, you're actually doing right by them because if they had done it and you took them on, it wouldn't be the right fit and you wouldn't be helping them and you're preventing them from getting
Right.
to somebody else who might be a better fit.
Right.
It sounds like, so in my presentation now, we're going to run my case study story of what I did throughout it. But it sounds like if the story was not, here's what it was, here's what I did, and here's the result. But if I could throw in a few stumbles along the way, I did this and then that didn't work, and I did this and then that didn't work, and that's how we came to it. That becomes a more effective
Yes.
connection. Yeah.
Especially if you're talking about your ideal client. Before they met you, they did this, this, and this. And then once they met you, we looked at this, this, and this. And then tying in each of those emotional things that need to happen in order so that somebody at the end, and listen, the video I'm talking about that got me emotional, uh, I don't need to hire him. I need him on my podcast and we need to talk about it. Yes. Um, I have sent 15 people to his YouTube channel. That's valuable right there. So I think when we are able to tap into someone's emotions, we're able to connect on that deeper level. And then the person feels seen, heard, valued in a whole new way. And if they are not your ideal client, they're gonna send that video to one of their clients or one of their friends, just like I did. So that's how I'm going to open the conversation with this guy I went on my podcast was, okay, I've never watched a YouTube video that made me cry. Thanks so much. I I've sent your channel to 15 people. Not only do I appreciate the videos, the content, the structure of the channel, I see your client acquisition funnel coming through this channel, and it is just like, and when somebody receives a message like that, because most people wouldn't take the time to compliment and notice all those things about somebody's channel, uh, he's going to say yes to being on my podcast. And who knows where that goes? Maybe I end up on his. That would be cool. But you never know where that emotional, it's the emotional connection that's so important. Troy, go ahead.
I love the idea of having a video. I think that's an amazing tool to have and put that everywhere. My question is, I know you're doing this in Claude.
Mhm.
Are there prompts? And I guess my question is, if there are, can we use it in chat? Because I'm not on
Yes.
Claude.
Yes, absolutely. You can now use, if you have the paid version
I
of
do.
Chat GPT, you can use your Claude skill in Chat GPT and do the same exact thing.
Okay.
Okay. I'll show you how to do that if you need help. Susan,
Thank you.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm blown away by this, really. I always say that, well, I don't have a case study, I don't have a process, I don't have a
Mm,
set way of doing it, whatever.
mhm, mhm,
I do. I'm just not conscious of it. It's it is the way I do it.
mhm.
It is part of me. So, it's like looking myself in the mirror and explaining my face
Yeah,
to me.
yeah,
It's like what?
yeah.
So, but I do have a case study and I do have a process with this one client that I worked with for 7 years.
Mm,
And it is always the theme of everyone who, not everyone is, I'm a business coach, but not everyone works with me. There's so many business coaches out there. But those that do have, um, uh, uh, there's a piece of their personality that is not allowing them to be as successful as they
mhm.
would like to be. And that is a reflection directly upon myself in unleashing my own,
Mhm.
genius out
Yeah.
there, and so I help other people unleash their own genius now that I've done my crash and burn a couple of times.
Mhm.
But it all comes down to telling the story of trust and responsibility.
Yeah.
And people hire me for that. I am your trusted go-to,
Mhm.
and
But what if sharing that
this,
story,
yeah,
right? Uh,
yeah, mm,
when I was challenged a long time ago to teach a client charisma. He called me a schmoozer. He's like, "You're so good." And I thought schmoozer was negative, because my
mm,
mom taught me that don't be a schmoozer. Like don't schmooze me to get what you want. But he meant it something super positive. He was like, "Can you show me how you charm people, how
mm,
people are trusting of you?" And I I kind of said, "Well, I was a dental hygienist for 20 years and people hate getting their teeth cleaned, but they loved me." And
mm,
why? They felt safe, they felt seen, and I was really, really funny. I had a joke of the day every day, and I would tell every single person that same exact joke. And by the last patient of the day, it had full on acting with that joke,
oh,
right?
that's
Because
hilarious.
if I get a little laugh from, a
Mm,
10-year-old, well, the next person is going to get a little more enunciation or a little more emotion or a little more body language. Oh, I'm breaking down fear with laughter, right? What
mhm,
is the opposite of being afraid? uh, you laugh. And well, all of a sudden, people were more comfortable with me and more comfortable in an awkward situation. I
mm,
didn't know I was doing that. And when someone asked me to teach it to a room full of dental hygienists and assistants, I was paralyzed, Susan, because I didn't know my own process.
mhm,
But the value of learning your own process, meta perspective, like, oh, I do this, and then I do this, and then, oh, I do this. Well, then you can teach it to other people. and your clients more efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for
You're
taking this
welcome.
apart and bringing it to all of our attention, my attention, because this is just under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very the human aspect of business is so
Mhm.
important because businesses are BS. It's people.
Right,
People are the business.
right.
So if you don't relate to each other on an extremely open, vulnerable, my client has to feel comfortable enough to say really anything to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I will tell them in a very firm but honest way, if they're blowing smoke up their own butt,
Right.
kind of a thing. Yeah. So we forget this. I know I forgot this.
I know. I
Yeah.
know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Chris, let's go to you.
Well, for me, this is perfect timing.
Mm,
I just have updated my profile on LinkedIn
great.
with what you are saying now, with why I do what I do. And here is the lost baby, Molleke,
Oh,
after 7 days missing. So I am so glad that I have it back. And yep, I have a new challenge now. I will also learn something about cat behavior
mm-hmm.
because I don't want to have that happens a second time. That was horror. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine. Um, my dog got out of the yard one day for like 5 minutes, and I was like, all I could see is her running towards the road. And,
Ah,
of
yeah.
course, she wasn't going anywhere, but still, our fear sometimes overtakes the common sense a little bit. So, Yuval, go ahead.
Well, when my dog ran away, he brought home chicken from the neighbor. So
Oh,
he wasn't happy that he died from a heart attack because he wanted to play with it.
yeah.
But that's besides the point, just because well, that's where you ended. This reminds me, Chet Holmes talk about most of our marketing is to the 3% that already know that they need our services.
Hmm.
We need to look at the 97% that is not even aware
Right.
because everybody is fighting for the same 3%. And if
Yeah.
you have thousands of people on 3%, it's
Yeah,
difficult. If you look at the
exactly.
97, now you open a new market that you weren't aware of.
Exactly. It's very much about opening up the awareness. And I learned through this process of doing this for myself over the last 4 months. I don't know if any of you noticed that my new branding, the photos that Lindsay did, the work that Jason Croft and I have been doing went live today. You might have seen my article about the number one movie when I was 13, which was Grease, and how it formed this idea about identity for me. You know, Sandy had two identities, Danny had two identities. And as business owners, it's really about bringing those identities together and being brave enough to be that person. That's why Lindsay's work is so important. And that it's why I talk about what Lindsay does because of how important that work has been for me. And one of the things that stood out, and I wrote it down, I discovered through this work with Jason that I am an autodidact. I had never heard that term. And what it means is the way I learn something is like immersion, and I can learn something very, very quickly and then be able to teach it to other people. Huh. Apparently, that's rare. I take it for granted. What if that learning process that's so easy for me What if I translate it into an SOP, how I do it, why I do it, what topics I've done it with, what tools I use to do that? That's a situation that could be a video. It's also standing in something that is an unconscious ability of mine, and learning that word made it, oh, conscious ability. So once something is a conscious ability, we can learn a little bit more about it and be able to teach it to others. That was incredible to me. Now, it seems like a small thing to learn about yourself, but in the scope of this lesson and the scope of what I'm teaching you today, really, really important. Just like when somebody asked me to teach them charisma. How do I do that? Well, I made money teaching other hygienists and assistants how to be like me. That was it. That's the easiest thing in the world, to teach other people to be and do what you do. And that's what this video is going to do. And once you know how to do it, you can do it 100 times for all the different problems that you solve. The video structure, the long form written content structure, or a LinkedIn post can all be done with this same idea. That's exciting. All right, let's go into the offer part, and then we will do the actual breakdown of how you're going to do this. So at the end of this video, and I would argue the end of most conversations that you're currently having, an offer to help is entrenched in this video. It could be a course or a template. It could be a next step. It could be your group program. Hey, you want to explore, going deeper into this in my group? The links below in the description. Could be one-on-one. It could be done for you. It does not matter. This is simply an offer to help. And if you don't have a product, maybe it's a small package of sessions. For those of us who are strictly coaches and don't have like a program, it could just be a strategy session. 10 clients later, the recordings from that person actually help you create a repeatable process. So, Susan, if you don't know your process and you haven't documented it, take one person through the process, record all the sessions, and then use AI to tell you what you did. Really powerful. Okay, next, one offer, one price, one link. Every video that you make only has one. Too much? I've done this. Every link I have is in my YouTube descriptions. Changing that changes the outcome. So, in your descriptions of your videos, there is only one place you want someone to go after watching that one video. You could have multiple videos, multiple playlists that lead to different things. Or if you have long form content like I do, I have 4 different newsletters. They lead to different things. That's incredible. Would you like help with this? Is the only thing you need to say during the videos. Would you like help with that? You want to go deeper on that? The link's in the description. That's it. So here's the 8 segments, all like in one. If you want to take a little screenshot of this, I will give you the slides as well. But if you think about these 8 segments really, really simply, cold open with their 3 a.m. thought, name the problem from the inside in their words, your story, how knowledge didn't save you, but what did, why other fixes fail. This is important. If you don't know why your competition fails with people, we need to find that out. The shift, why this matters now, your process, your moves, and they self-diagnose right then during the video. They're saying, oh, yeah, that's me. The stakes, real arithmetic, and only urgency. What that means is know your numbers. Know that if somebody works with you and goes through your full program, how much does their income go up? How much more time off do they get? How much more money do they make? Know your numbers. And then the offer, super simple. Would you like help with that? You want to go deeper on that? Would you like to learn more? The link is in the description. That's it. Now, there's some non-negotiables here for authentic connection. I've added these because they meant a lot to me. No false urgency, no countdown timers. Real stakes are much stronger than bro marketing. We've all seen bro marketing. I'm stretching to something different here. The offers made openly. Everybody knows I'm a coach. Everybody knows that I'm here to make money. I have a business. Let's not hide that. Qualify out people that it does not work for. Hey, listen, if you're not an action taker, you're not a doer, you're not a thinker, I'm not the coach for you, and be okay with that. And never outrun your own proof. Your own credibility carries more weight than any certification. Your own authority over yourself and belief in yourself means more than anything else. And for those of you who are multiply certified, who have different certifications and different diplomas, mine are all in a filing cabinet here. No one has ever asked to see them. Not once, not ever. And I guarantee it's probably the same for you. All right. So 1 week from now, you're going to be getting ready to record this. So here's the steps. I'm also going to give you the SOP for this, but you're going to gather the 7 inputs. And don't worry, I have full instructions and the Claude skill will help you do this. You're going to generate the belief map in Claude, and it's going to help you do that based on your program, your offers, everything, all your foundational documents. You're going to approve the run of the show and maybe give it the story that you're going to use in your walk-up webinar. You're going to table read the script. What that means is read it out loud and record it and then listen to it back. I sat down with my headphones, closed my eyes, and listened to my own voice reading this back to me. And there was nothing that didn't feel totally like me. And that's what you want. It has to feel like you. And then you're going to record and publish. And, I really believe that a little screw up in a video is better than editing the heck out of videos and making it perfect. That's one of the lessons that I think I want to get most across to my clients. Done is better than perfect. There is no perfect human. There's no perfect entrepreneur. And trying to fake it to be perfect just is not realistic. And that's a great story for me to use in one of these videos, right? And what you're going to do, you have the skill, you have the lesson, and the SOP. They'll all be in the classroom. I'm going to walk you through everything today. And then you're going to create a Claude project with all of this in it, plus your foundational documents. And you'll be able to create more than one video. So once you have the structure programmed, you could say, create a video on nutrition, create a video on exercise and why I believe what I believe about exercise. And it'll relate right back to why you should work with me as your business coach. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Then, your 7 inputs look like this: one problem, one person, your process, your offer, your story, the stakes, and the venue. Where are you going to put this video? That's important because if you're going to put it on YouTube, you need a description, you need SEO, you need a good title, you need a thumbnail. And I have a thumbnail creator that I'll share with you as well today that really turning out. ChatGPT can do a stellar job with those. Denise, go ahead.
So I have a question. So I am running in September. I start a marketing launch for it's actually a piece of my signature program. It's the piece I believe most women need to know 100%. It's the hormone clarity pathway, right? That is a step in my signature program, but that's what I'm talking about today, or that's what I'm going to be talking about.
Okay.
Help me think that through, because like I said, we're talking, this is the process, but this is a step in the process. So how do I distinguish?
Well, so I'm wondering if what you're saying is more educational rather than, it's for the person who already knows they have an issue and they want to learn about this, or is it for the video that, oh, they don't know you, they don't know what you do, awareness video. So let's think about that also, because if the video is about a specific thing, and you're going to teach that thing, that's not an invitation to your whole program. That's just an invitation to learn about that thing. They might not even know what that thing is. So if we do a video that says something about the problem that's waking them up at 3 a.m., that becomes a whole different emotion that somebody's watching it, right? And you're such a good teacher of the tangible, but I'm going to ask you to get into the above that. What's the emotion you need to tap into to have somebody say, I'm tired of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sweaty, uncomfortable, my joints hurt. I can't sleep on my stomach because my stomach's too big, or what, like whatever they're saying at 3 a.m. That's the video. And then your educational pieces are something different. That's a playlist on hormones. That's a playlist on supplements. That's a playlist on, oh, you need help with supplements? Watch this playlist. Oh, you need help with hormone balance? Watch this playlist. But the video that's above them all is the one that shows Denise has been through this and she understands. And now I have the framework for you to follow so you don't have to feel like shit anymore. Full transparency, I'm Denise's client, so I understand what she does at a really core level. Just like, being Lindsay's client, I understand what Lindsay does at a really core level. I've worked with Nikki for 2, 3 years. I understand deeply what she does and who she is, and that matters. Yuval, go ahead.
So what I hear, and probably beyond the scope of today, is normalize how people feel, and that's your connection with your audience.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes, you're welcome. And just a quick side note on feelings. This is Brene Brown's book about emotions called Atlas of the Heart. We are going to spend, yay! We're going to spend 6 weeks of book club diving into that book. And the reason is because I fully believe that it was responsible for at least 4 clients for me, but also this idea that I'm ready to be more than I was really telling people I was doing, right? So when someone saw me as a community builder and that's how they introduced me, when somebody saw me as an AI trainer and that's how they introduced me, that it is not what I wanted to be known for. And the emotion behind that, I think, gave me some bravery when it comes to, I'm still a business coach. I still do all of the things that I do. But now someone's asking me to make videos, just like I'm asking you to make, and it felt uncomfortable. Like, I'm going to make a video about like my own personal manifesto. Well, that's a little, okay. I'm putting it all out there, I guess, right? Not all of it, but 90% of it. Got to save 10% for the book, right? But that felt vulnerable. That felt bigger than myself. So if this doesn't feel bigger than yourself, it might be time to re-look at the mission, the vision, and why you're doing what you're doing. Like Chris mentioned, she kind of found her why through her own struggle with rescuing a cat and her own cat going missing. She now has a mission behind what she does so she can give back to cat rescue. And like that means something to her, and it's going to mean something to her future clients as well.
Yeah.
How do we feel? Good. All right, let's walk through the tangible pieces of
I
this.
feel
You feel
just I couldn't get the mute button off fast enough.
okay.
It's kind of like you're saying, you think you got a problem. Let me tell you what I had, and now why it's fixed. That to me is a takeaway of the gist of what we're trying to say to somebody.
Yeah.
Is not like, yeah, the old Monty Python, we didn't even have a hole in the ground to live on kind of thing. But if you it says like that way, not just I've been there, but if you open up with, oh my God, want to know why I don't have any hair on my head? Let me tell you the story, right?
Yes.
That's what you're
Yes.
talking about. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Maybe even start off the video with a toupee on that's really bad and ugly.
No toothpaste.
No, just to take it off. Like
No,
just to be
Bold and happy. Bold and
yeah,
happy.
bald and happy. Listen,
Yeah.
I wish it was in style for
but
women.
you know what? Yeah, I won't say no. But that is the opposite of the hair club.
Yeah. There you go. Annie, the book is Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown. And again, for your clients, and then that would be an incredible book. On Brene Brown's website, Dare to Lead, Atlas of the Heart, Daring Greatly, and her newest book, I forget what it's called. She has book club resources, and I didn't know that. And when I found them, I was like, this is incredible, especially for coaches, because I think this Atlas of the Heart, understanding our clients' emotions and I don't know how many there are. I think she says 87. And understanding those emotions can really make a difference, right? And fear shows up in numerous different ways. Shows up in procrastination, shows up in playing small, shows up in frustration, impatience. And when I understood that my negative emotions, or the go-to ones of impatience and frustration, was actually coming from fear because they were all in that same category. Oh, wow. Okay, now I know my homework. So by helping you get into where are you hitting your client's emotions, and then that's what this video is going to do. And I'm not a crier. So for a YouTube video to get me a little choked up was really powerful. And that will forever be with me as a coach because it showed me if I do this work correctly, I'm going to be tapping into those emotions for my clients as well. And maybe business things won't make people cry like childhood things, but it sure can affect people powerfully. So, all right, let's jump into, let me get Claude open. Any other questions before we jump into the logistics of this and how we're going to set it up? How do we feel?
Suzanne, I'm going to have to jump off in a few minutes for an
Okay.
appointment. Are we going to be able to access the recording or any links or
Yes.
the prompts?
Yes, everything will be in level 5. Last lesson of level 5 is the walk-up webinar. That's today. And you'll get the skill, the SOP, and there's only 5 more minutes, and I will kind of walk you through setting up the Claude project to do this.
Level 5 of what course?
In the Path to 250, the Tailored AI OS.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Share Claude. Okay. Now, if you haven't done your YouTube research, if YouTube's going to be your thing for this and you're looking to get, more reach on YouTube, I encourage you to find 5 channels that the bottom of the funnel of those channels is the same as yours. Now, like for you, Denise, it doesn't have to be, your type of coaching, but it needs to be female oriented, bottom of funnel is at least $1,000 a month one-on-one coaching. For you, Bruce, I think Nate B. Jones is a perfect example for you. Not his content, the structure of his videos, how he puts things on YouTube and the Substack.
Is that the
And
guy with the beard
yeah,
and the glasses?
Yeah.
I did. I followed him. Yeah.
yeah, he's great. So research his YouTube channel. Go to Claude Code, give it the link to the YouTube channel, the URL, and say, please research this YouTube channel. Troy, I shared your research with you. 3 different channels I analyzed for Troy, all in the same swoop with Claude Code. And it gave him some really clear, like, okay, this channel does this one's dead. They have a lot of subscribers, but they don't produce any videos anymore. This one is doing videos that lead to this, and this one was most like Troy, right? So that's what it can do for you. And it will also give you some great video structure, recommendations for SEO, AEO, the whole thing. And one of the things that I noticed with the channels that I analyzed, I had 5 for me, and 3 of them were actually still getting algorithm boosts on 2-year-old videos. And Claude explained why that was happening, because people were finding those videos based on keywords and also going to his channel directly and then saying, which videos do I need? They didn't care that it was 2 years old because the topic spoke to them. So that's key also. We're building this for long term here. All right, so we're going to open Claude. You're going to go to projects and we're going to start a new project. And we're going to name this project Walk Up Webinar or whatever you feel like. Like maybe it's YouTube channel, maybe it's videos, but I'm gonna just stick with the same name. And then we're going to give it context. So 2 ways to do that. We're gonna either hook up the folder. Now you can see Walk Up Webinar is already connected. Huh. Thank you so much. But I'm also going to connect my business brain and I'm going to hit allow. So I have 2 folders now, one for input, one for my output is going to go into that folder and also to Notion. Now, context, we're going to click here. And what I want you to add is the 3 documents that are going to be in the classroom from today. So there's 3 ways to add them. The best way is to cut and paste the content. So let me show you what that looks like. So in the classroom, so I'm going to give you this document, the complete SOP. Don't worry, you don't need to read it. We're just going to give this to Claude. And then how to build your signature workshop. The reason we're going to use both of these is because we want this project to be multi-focused for you. We want to be able to go back to this project anytime we want. And say you get an email that inspires you. Rich Lipvin sent out an email the other day, and Gordon said to me, "You've been saying that for years." And I said, "Yeah, saying it to you and inside my own head does not constitute putting it out into the world." And Rich did it in an email, and it was inspiring to me. I copied the content from the email and said to AI, let's make this sound like me. How would I say this? And then I could easily turn that into a video on YouTube and make it even stronger than Rich's email. So any inspiration that you get from other people that touches on what you do, I want you to start saving those things. Either bookmark them in your browser, save them to Notion. I used to use Evernote. Now I, put everything in Notion. And you're going to upload this context in your Claude. So like this document, I'm going to give you this URL and you're going to just save it as a PDF. And that looks like just going on your computer to file, save as PDF, drop it on your desktop, and then bring it in to this project. Any questions on bringing documents into the project? Because I think this part's key. Any questions there? Okay. Okay. So you're going to add all of that context. You're going to have the SOP, how to build your signature workshop, and even include my slides from today if you want. The more, the better. Your folder over here, your business brain. Make sure that your business brain is up to date with your foundational documents. Check that first, and then we connect that folder so we don't have to add in more context because it already is reading that business brain folder. And all we're going to do is start asking it. Let's build my signature workshop around this topic. I'll throw in some prompts for you if you get stuck. But really, it can be very general and very basic just to get started. And that's really it. If you want instructions for this project, make them up yourself for you. So if this is going to be, I'll give you an example. This is going to be a project for my YouTube channel. I have topics in mind and want to follow a structure for the videos. And I'm going to say based on the context provided. All right, so let me grab these documents real quick so I can show you what this will look like, super basic. All right, signature workshop, SOP, and I'm just exporting these in PDF form. And then I'm also doing my slides in PDF form, which you'll have all of that for your project. Now they're all sitting on my desktop and I'm just going to click here, upload from device, and
The recording has stopped.
I'm going to pick all 3 of those. And so now I have all 3 of those PDFs. And I'm going to say, give me instructions for this project. I want each, this is important, I want each video script we work on to have a script, 2 social posts, a long form Substack article, and 4 Substack notes. Please write the instructions with what you know about me from my business brain. And I'm happy to share that prompt with you guys as well. So now this is how we're going to make this project yours. This way it's not mine. You're just going to use this skill of putting it in this certain order. So now it's reading my dossier, my brand memory, and it's list the files in content related folders, running a command on my computer, and it's going to spit out instructions for this project. I love that it tells you what it's doing. It's one of my favorites. Any questions while we're waiting? Is it making sense so far? Okay.
So what were the 2 additional documents that you attached? One was the from your website, and then there were 2 that looks like a picture of something.
Yes. So one of those was the slides here. The next one was this SOP, which I'll be giving you. And this is just the complete instructions on building the SOP, building this video. And then this document, how to build your signature workshop, which we did in another lesson, but we want to incorporate some things from this signature workshop. And this way you'll be able to use the project for multiple different videos. Okay. And all right, so now it's I'm sorry. I didn't show you. So it's this document here, which will be in the notes. And then this is the SOP. So it's a very, very detailed, full SOP how to put this webinar together. So they'll all be in the notes.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. So now it's asking me a couple questions. What's the video format for this series? Walk-up structure, 10 to 15 minutes. Full 45-minute walk-up webinar per topic. Thank you. What CTA lane does this series serve by default? This is very important. Unless I tell it, it's always going to have the CTA be the thing that's at the top of my funnel. And so I could say decide per video, which that might make sense. But these three, subscribe, I want that on every video. Honestly, I want more subscribers to YouTube and to Substack. Private conversation, that's available if you go to my website, but I don't think that should be a call to action. So the very top of my funnel, beyond my free blog, is this IP extractor. So I'm going to go with that one. And where should finished deliverables land? Both. I like everything in the brain on my computer, but I also want it backed up in Notion. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I do that, because Notion can be shared. So if I decide that this video script and the template for this video, maybe the full script is so good, I want to turn that into a deliverable. I want to turn that into a workbook. I want to turn it into a PDF I sell. Or maybe 10 of these make up a book that I could publish, only if I save those scripts. So whatever scripts you're creating for videos, make sure you have a spot in Notion that's just for that. So I'm going to say both. And now it's going to work on that instruction set for this project. And what if, just what if, I just had an idea. I have a full YouTube plan with 12, the first 12 videos I'm going to film are already written articles on my Substack. What if it could do those automatically for me and do the script, send it to me, and every Monday I get to my desk at 9 a.m. with nothing on my calendar until 11, and every Monday, bloop, there's my video for today. What does that remove from the equation? What am I filming? What am I doing? Prepare in advance for doing this and set it up that it's going, here's my list of video topics for the next year, and set it up to create, based on your process, a new script every week for you. And you run that automatically. So my Evelyn runs automatically. My Eudaimon newsletter runs automatically. The only thing I'm doing organically, content-wise, is when I write one of my personal newsletters, like the one that went out today. That's pretty incredible. Denise, you could totally do that with your plan. Okay, cool. Here's the project instructions. I love the fact that it took the production workflow into account. And so all I'm going to do is just copy those instructions. I'm going to go back to the project and I'm going to click plus, and I am going to paste in those custom instructions. That easy. That easy to have Claude stick to what you're telling it to do. And this is the step that most people skip with using AI to help you write or script things. The other thing that could be helpful, and I'm going to give it some more context here, I am going to add my new manifesto because I want to make a video about my manifesto. And let me find it. Manifesto and my buyer update. So now these two things are in my business brain, but I also want to give it to the context here. Now, once I have my my list of videos, I'm going to add that to this project as well. All right, great. We got that. Now I could also save these project instructions. I don't need to right now. And now here's going to be the test of our project, which we always want to test to make sure it's going to deliver what we want it to deliver. Give me the outline and scope of a walk-up webinar as you understand it from this project. That's it. And we're going to see what Claude understands from what I've taught it. All right. Built on belief architecture rather than a content outline, one problem, one process, one offer. The viewer walks up to the offer because the argument has already installed the beliefs that make buying obvious. So the pitch never has to sell. Love that. The scope of the build, a single topic, produces 7 deliverables. Why? Because that's what I asked it for. Your deliverables might be different, and that is also key. What deliverables do you need from this? One topic should deliver not only the script, but it should deliver the post, the long form, the email, whatever your business needs. And this is something I struggled with for years, repeating myself. So Instagram post needs to go with the Facebook post, needs to go with the LinkedIn post, needs to go with the Substack article and the YouTube video. And I thought it was the most ridiculous thing in the world to say the same thing everywhere in different formats. Until I realized, oh, the people that are doing well with social media are doing that. Repeating yourself, saying the same thing on different platforms for different people. So, all right. So it looks like it's got this concept down, the offer constraint. Every webinar in the series sells the same thing. The IP extractor, love it, run of the show. It's got the steps down right here. The belief map structure, the 9 agreements run in 3 movements. Okay, perfect. The workflow, 9 steps. Who is this for? How does it sound? Measurement. Love it. One gap worth flagging. The project instructions carry 2 unresolved brackets. The offer URL and the Notion parent page for the series. Both should be locked before the first build so delivery does not stall at step 9. Perfect. Create a spot in my Notions YouTube plan as a subcategory. And then the skill. And I'm going to go to customize and let me see if, no, it didn't automatically install it. So I'm going to add, I'm going to upload the skill. It's sitting right on my desktop. I'm going to drop it in. Perfect. And now I'm going to call in that skill. Walk-up webinar. Look at that description. Build a complete walk-up webinar for a coach, consultant, or founder. 45-minute one-to-many presentation engineered to convert from belief map to full spoken script. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so my YouTube plan is a little bit different opener. And so I'm just going to say, following the complete structure, let's build a walk-up webinar about, and I am going to grab a link from my website just to test this out since I've never done this before with this skill. This is a page all about what I do. This page on my website, and the document in context called I believe it was Personal Manifesto. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't say the names there, but unknown command. Interesting. Maybe because I put it first. Interesting. Has anybody ever noticed that with a skill?
It's the URL isn't in there either.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to close Claude, quit, and then I'm going to reopen because the skill is there.
Yeah. I find that you need to reload the Claude just like a Windows machine.
Yeah.
The time.
Okay, perfect. So this might take a little while. You notice I am using Fable 5. That is not necessary. For those of you who don't have access to those higher models, it's really for something like this, we're giving it enough context that we don't really have to do that. Have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions, any problems with this. I'm going to drop all the resources in the classroom right now.
Thanks. I'm super
Welcome.
geek, so
I know. Super geek. It's okay.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Welcome.
The
Thank
YouTube
you, Suzanne. It's
Welcome.
wonderful.
um
Bye.
Bye. Go
you-
ahead, Annie. Sorry.
video that made you cry.
Oh, yeah. You will love him.
I definitely want to watch it.
Do you have a hard time asking for help?
Yes. Like I had a real hard
One of
time
the
with
things I
the thing
see
I
so many
haven't
people
cleared.
afflicted by that causes so much pain is the chase for approval, trying to.
Oh, this one will probably make me cry too. Jesus Christ, Joe.
Uh,
Um, I'll share. So this is him. His channel. I'll copy this. And the video, now the structure, he has coaching sessions, new to his channel, start here, great. Wisdom of procrastination series, great. Then this section, I want to transform my relationship to stress, money, work, other people, stuckness. Phenomenal playlist. And then his podcast, it's right here. Why it's so hard to ask for help. Say what you want. It's a self-reliance pattern. And what stood out to me was that I'm an only child and very fiercely independent and almost